Yuriko, the Tiger's Shadow, versus Rienne, Angel of Rebirth. Rienne? We'll go with Rienne. I'm going to keep that because we have tutors and we can put a blue source on top if we don't think we're going to be all that lucky. Well, speaking of luck, there is a Verdant Catacombs that can get us a blue source. Let's go in for the Underground Sea, and then we can get down the Triton Shore Stalker. That's an unblockable creature, so it's very good when it's tied up with ninjutsu. And our Yuriko, the Tiger's Shadow, does have Commander Ninjutsu, 2 mana, and we can bounce a attacking creature that's unblocked back to our hand and replace it with Yuriko. We'll have too big a hand if we go for Yuriko now. So let's just ping our opponent for 1 and hold up Mana Leak. They went for a Cinder Vines, by the way. When an opponent casts a non-creature spell, it deals 1 damage to that player. Whenever we hit our opponent with Yuriko, or a ninja does, we reveal the top card of the library, put it into our hand, and each opponent loses life equal to the CMC. Yeah, I think we just want to set up... We'll just wait for now. I think we want to set up with the Imperial Seal. Yeah, we're struggling on mana, aren't we? So maybe we just go for Demonic Tutor into something. Let's see if we can get a Mana Rock or something like that. We will get 1 damage dealt to us with the Cinder Vines. That will happen multiple times throughout the course of the game. Why don't we just get down a Signet? It does mean we're not holding up counter magic, but I don't think we're going to see our opponent's commander anyway. 5 mana in Naya, a new one out of M20. And we forgot to swing in with the unblockable. Anyway, that's a 5/4 flying, and it gives other multicoloured creatures +1 to their power. Whenever another multicoloured creature you control dies, you return it to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. Now we've gotten another ninja to bring into play if we want to. I say we just go for Yuriko here. The unblockable creature is obviously unblocked, so that means we can get Yuriko down, and then we hit our opponent. We could put something on the top with Vamp Tutor, but I think we're just going to blindly draw here and hope for a land, and a land is what we get, so that's really good. That's more blue for us. We'll just grab an island with that. And then we can get down the Triton Shore Stalker and activate Ninjutsu again with the Skull Snatcher. That way, if our opponent gets a blocker in, at least we can still activate Yuriko by hitting our opponent with the Skull Snatcher. Yuriko doesn't care about hitting our opponents, it just needs to see a ninja hit. Ooh, that's something. Going for the Ancient Tomb. Tap it for mana, just to encourage our opponent to do something during the second main instead. We do have counter magic held up. Alright, so instead of going for their commander, they just decided to try and screw our mana. Smoke Shroud isn't awful. The enchanted creature has +1/+1 and flying, and whenever a ninja enters under your control, you can return it from the graveyard to the battlefield attached to that creature. Problem is, our opponent's commander is a flyer. So let's just go in at our opponent with a couple of creatures here. Then we can bring down the Skull Snatcher in place of the Triton Shore Stalker. And then I'm going to Vamp Tutor something on top. We'll take another damage and then 2 from the Vamp Tutor. And actually I think I want to go for the Scroll Rack. It might encourage our opponent to blow up the Scroll Rack with this thing. And if not, we can just keep putting Dig Through Time on top of our library. We'll get rid of the lands from our opponent's library with the Skull Snatcher. And then Yuriko will reveal a couple of things, one of which is obviously the Scroll Rack. We do not get into a land for the turn, unfortunately. So we'll just hold up the Mana Leak and get rid of Supreme Will. Well, there's a Greaves from our opponent. Yeah, I don't think I want to bother countering the Greaves. Pyroclasm, I do want to counter. I want to keep as many ninjas in play as possible. So they were obviously trying to bait us there. Luckily we didn't fall for it. Alright, getting into a land. It is a tap land, unfortunately. We can go for Scroll Rack and activate Scroll Rack. So let's do that. We can put the Dig Through Time on top, and that will deal 8 damage to our opponent when we reveal it. And then we'll see if we reveal a land or not. And then we'll see if we reveal a land or not before we play that Creeping Tar Pit. Because if we get a land into play untapped, then that might affect the things that we play. Get rid of the Pyroclasm because Skull Snatcher has hit our opponent. Let's activate the Scroll Rack. And we'll just put the Dig Through Time on top. I don't mind the cards that are in our hand. And then Yuriko will reveal the Dig Through Time and deal 8 damage to our opponent. And then we reveal a Baleful Strix, so that's 2 more damage. We'll get the Triton Stalker going, and now they pretty much need a board wipe. Okay, yep, they did decide to blow up the Scroll Rack with the Cinder Vines, 1 and sack. Destroys an artifact or enchantment and 2 damage to its controller. And there's the board wipe, Hour of Devastation. So, in that case, what do we want? I mean, I say we just go for the Phantom Ninja and Baleful Strix. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. Phantom Ninja is unblockable, and we can ninjutsu out Yuriko next turn with the Baleful Strix. The Strix will draw us a card. Okay, there's a Brainstorm, so do we want to get rid of the Smoke Shroud? Yeah, we can go for Smoke Shroud, just in case our opponent wheels or something weird like that, and we want to protect some stuff on top of our library with the Brainstorm. Brainstorm actually puts 2 cards from our hand on top of our library, so we could go for a card on top to draw into next turn and then 1 to reveal with Yuriko, and that one would be Dig Through Time to put lethal damage on our opponent. Okay, a Rex Sage, and I'd be intrigued to see where that's going. Yep, they're going after the Baleful Strix. That doesn't really matter. We'd rather keep it, but it doesn't really matter. Don't think we've seen a multicoloured creature yet, which is strange with this commander. Rienne, Angel of Rebirth, would have a lot of multicoloured creatures, you would think. Coming in at us with Rex Sage, we are not going to block that. But they might as well swing and offer up the trade because they can't block the Phantom Ninja anyway. At the end of the turn we will Brainstorm, and let's put... we'll go for the Urborg and the... Oh, that's the wrong order, isn't it? We want Dig Through Time and then the Urborg. We can draw into Urborg, reveal Dig Through Time off the top. Yeah, that'll be okay, I think. Swing in with the Phantom Ninja. And we never pay command attacks on Yuriko as long as we're getting her down for Commander Ninjutsu. So it's always going to cost 2 mana no matter how many times she dies. She hits our opponent, and that reveals the Dig Through Time, and knocks our opponent down to -2. So a shame there. I was actually looking forward to seeing what our opponent had done with Rienne, Angel of Rebirth, but they don't seem to have been lucky enough to draw into their multicoloured creatures. But we'll keep playing, and hopefully someone else brings up a Rienne, Angel of Rebirth and has a bit more luck with it. Hopefully you enjoyed the Yuriko, the Tiger Shadow game. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.